Whew. What up, everybody? Vita Van Pelt here with soy sauce. We are ready to wrap up as the year is so close. So close, man. I can't wait for it to start so we can just kind of get over some of this the boredom that's lying in the final analysis and all of that stuff, man. Let's get it loose, man. Before we get started, how you doing today, man?
Cool, man. Doing cool. Another day, another day. Uh,
Ooh.
Kind of sports related, WWE. Shout out to rest in peace to Bray Wyatt. He just passed away yesterday, man. Sad to lose somebody so
I'm not a
early,
big
man.
wrestling guy. They're a big wrestling guy, y'all. So if y'all need to talk wrestling, soy sauce and the guys got y'all, man. What did he mean to the wrestling community? Because I'm not tapped in like that. But I did see a
Man,
video of like Booker T's reaction with somebody, and they saw it live, and I like the way that it hit them was just like, ah, dang, you know what I'm saying?
man, Bray Wyatt, man. The only way I can like bring the equivalent to it is he's the Kobe Bryant, my Kobe Bryant
Yeah,
to the wrestling community. Just his creativity, his overall just different approach to everything.
yeah,
Nicest person in the world. Huge loss to that. So rest in peace, Bray Wyatt. But man, we here. AFC breakdown.
yeah,
Ready for the NFL season, like Vita said. Just get past the boredom of
yeah,
preseason and the summer of no sports.
yeah. We try our best to be consistent, but we be living life, full families and everything. So this is our free time when we get to do this stuff, y'all. So we wish we could give y'all a schedule, and we try our best, man. We really do. But besides that, before we jump into the AFC, anything that's kind of happened between since we last did the QB rankings? Well, we're going to talk about some of that. You know what? It'll probably cross while we get ready to get into this. So let's hop into it. For those of y'all who are rocking with us live, you already know all comments are welcome. As long as you keep it within the context of sports, everything is welcome, y'all. We don't really trip off on none of that. So let's get it to the top of the hour. You know how we do it every time, northeast, southwest. We just follow the compass, so we ain't got to worry about fighting over nothing. So let's get up to the AFC Northeast. We're walking up to the Tua's hood, Mike and Vic's hood with the Steelers. AFC North: Baltimore Ravens, Cincinnati Bengals, Cleveland Browns, and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Has anything changed in your mind from when we talked about this division about any team?
Um, Not really. I mean, I don't think there's really anything that I saw in the like training camps, in the off season, and preseason. I think teams were taking preseason this year much different than we've seen every any other year. I think they've
Yeah,
taken this preseason more as how are we going to create depth? Who are these young guys? If we even have the young guys, like the Eagles, for instance, they have none of their young guys playing. I think Jalen Carter played like 2 snaps. Nolan Smith played like 3 snaps. But I think the approach to the offseason kind of keeps my view consistent of it, with Baltimore kind of being that team to beat in the AFC North.
so for me, it's Pittsburgh. Um, when we talked about Pittsburgh, you made a good point. You was like, "Yo, the only thing that keeps us from wanting to say this team is bad is the Mike Tomlin tax." And like, we just think Kenny Pickett is what he is. Is there a like, and this is again from my view of Kenny Pickett and me thinking like, okay, he could be a top 15-ish quarterback around them. I like all the moves that they made. I was really ready to be like, man, why should I believe that they could pull it out? And then they killing it in the preseason,
Mm-hmm.
like they're killing it in the preseason. And I'm not gonna take preseason for too much, but one thing I am gonna take is the fact that I always can trust Tomlin to coach the hell out of these dudes. Is because he's like, nah, we got to go out there and we got to get reps. He said he was like, you can't box if you don't spar. So he was like, we got to get out there, we got to get reps, we got to get live game action. You got some people, like you said, everybody's having a different approach. So I think when it comes to the North, I told you my winner was Baltimore. Um, I'm still leaning Baltimore right now. I'm like, I feel like there's a vast majority that's a little lower on Baltimore's defense than I am. I think they actually have a good defense, and people think they have a horrible one from what it seems like. I don't get it. Maybe I'm missing something. like we talked about before, the gap in this division was healthy Lamar, Bengals, and then where really should we grade Cleveland and Pittsburgh? Like that's really like because we know the consistency of what Pittsburgh is, but they were also like, what is Cleveland? I told you I thought Cleveland was a dark horse of this, like of the division and what they could be. But I think I'm starting to pull back on them. I think I like Pittsburgh more, and I think I'm pretty confident to say I think they'll finish fourth in the division.
Hmm.
That's how I kind of feel about the North. I
I
don't
mean,
think it.
I'm with that.
I'm I am looking at potentially. I know he's scheduled to play week 1, but the Burrow injury, just
Mm.
kind of seeing how. Again, I know he's a baller. He's gonna go out there and play, but if that turns into something that kind of lingers through the season, but Bro's been playing hurt before, so I don't think that's gonna change my mind up too much about them. But yeah, I still have Baltimore winning the division. I like I think, man, I think both of them could end up being like 11 win teams. But yeah, I think I'm ready to go Baltimore, Cincy, Pittsburgh, Cleveland as my final order for the North.
Yeah, yeah, I'm cool with that. Plus, I think, I mean, I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take it with a grain of salt. But I like what I saw from the Browns' backup quarterback in the preseason, Dorian.
Yeah, DTR, man. Told y'all like DTR. That's one thing. That's one thing Colin Coward says right. He was like, your backup quarterback should have the same skill set as your starting quarterback.
Yeah,
That's why he was like, people Baltimore gets away with going from Lamar to Tyler Huntley. He was like, so you don't have to change your playbook up that much. So, um, is there any player on either team that you kind of have your eye on throughout the year? So for me, for the Ravens, let me make sure I got his name right because I be getting these two dudes mixed up. So for the Ravens, I'll be looking at Odafe Owe. That's kind of the one guy that I'm looking at this year on their roster. For the Bengals, or do you have one on the Ravens that you're just kind of looking at eye on?
probably Roquan and Patrick Queen, one of those two, just to kind of see how they controlled and command the defense. I think
Gotcha.
when we look at Baltimore's defense historically, we've always looked at a leader on that defensive side. Are
Yeah.
one of these two guys going to be that? We'll find out next year. And I mean, there's the obvious in like watching Odell Beckham to see what he does this year.
Yeah. Um, for the Bengals, for me, the Jesse Bates replacement, who's gonna do what they can do at safety. I've liked Jordan Battle. I know he's not their projected starter right now, but I like Jordan Battle just kind of from what I've seen him. So just kind of seeing if there's a Jesse Bates replacement in the safety position. You got one for Cincy?
Not really, honestly. Um, I'm probably going to be looking just at that whole O line. I want to see what they continue to do. I want to see if
CTE Deuce, what up?
they can protect Burrow this year. We know Burrow's going to be having that injury. We don't know how long he's out. They said they don't know how. I don't think they're really going to give a timetable on it, but I'm gonna be watching that O line as a whole.
Okay. For the Cleveland Browns, ooh, not gonna lie, this one's a little tough for me. Um, I would like to kind of honestly call it a duo because I was pretty high on both of them. Greg Newsome and Grant Delpit, I like them both coming out. So I just got an eye on those two guys. And Elijah Moore. I know that's three, but yeah, seeing if Elijah Moore gives me vibes of somebody who could really work with Watson.
I'm gonna be watching Zadarius Smith. Hell of an
Ooh,
addition with them coming with them getting him from Minnesota after spending 1 year over there. So that's gonna be a huge addition.
you got double digit sacks
For
on
Zadarius,
Zedarius?
I don't see why not. I don't see why not. Right when you got Miles Garrett on the other side and you got double teams guaranteed going over there, you have to at least get 9, 10 sacks. We know Jadavion when he was over there shortly couldn't do it. Whoever's
Yeah,
been on the other side of Miles Garrett hasn't been able to do it. Zadarius had a decent year last year, so I think he can do that this year.
yeah. And for Pittsburgh, for real, for me, man, it's just Kenny Pickett. because my ceiling on him is, I think he'll be a top 15-ish mid-range quarterback. It's just me just kind of actually seeing him and being like, is there more to you? Like, am I limiting you in my view of what I think you're capable of and what you're not? So it really is just me just watching Kenny.
Yeah,
So
Kenny Pickett and
facts, Deuce.
I think this is me just being on the what is it the bias side of it, but Kenny Pickett and Jalen Warren. I think
Yeah.
we're gonna see a whole lot more Jalen Warren featured this year. He's going to feature pretty heavily in when Najee was down, as well as kind of in some of those third down passing situations, being really good at blocking. But I think we're gonna see a two-headed beast over there in that running back core with Jalen Warren.
All right, 2 TDs. I think we got 2 TDs in the preseason. He broke off like a 50 game too. Hit the other one the other night against Atlanta. I was like, yeah, tear Atlanta up. Show them they're not ready.
Hey, that was a cool touchdown, but his touchdown dance at the end of that was so ugly, bruh.
Yeah,
Jalen, dog,
that's
I'm gonna send this clip to you. I'm gonna send it to you.
all right.
I don't know about that dance.
All right. So to wrap up the AFC North, Oos, your winner for the AFC North is
Baltimore Ravens,
Baltimore Ravens. Second place for the AFC North for you will be
Cincinnati Bengals,
Natty Bengals. And third is
Pittsburgh Steelers. Very, very, very close to second.
very close to second. Steelers 500,
Oh yeah, above 500 for sure.
10 wins.
Maybe, maybe. I think the hope that Pickens has been shown in the preseason changes kind of the course of some of those 50-50 games that we looked at and we saw when we were just like, man, is this game going to be the difference with Ravens,
Ooh.
Steelers, Bengals, Brown? Damn, Deuce. I kind of
Hey, Deuce love
expected that
Pickens,
from this
bro.
though.
Deuce love Pickens, bro. That's his dude, bro. He mess with him. He
Pickens is
really mess
dope.
with him.
I think
Pickens
what
is
we saw
dope.
from Pickett though is going to be the difference from what we talked about with because I didn't even know we had the conversation of Cleveland maybe even being third, challenger for
Yeah,
second.
we it's gonna be a close division, and what we talked about, the game changer in this is, where does Deshaun really come back at? Because even if I think Deshaun is the equal to the best version of himself that I think we saw, I think that's a top 10 quarterback. I don't think it's a top 5 quarterback.
It's a Dak
And I
Prescott type quarterback.
Yeah, so I'm saying it's a you might be the 10th best quarterback if you're exactly the dude we saw you last at your best. Like, you
Yep,
might be exactly number 10. And I don't know
that's true.
what him being exactly number 10 really does for the Browns next year. Like, because as a coach and a team, like, that levels it out, but we talked about that gap between Watson, Pickett to Joe and Lamar, and how much it like how close is that, a closer gap than we think it is, or is there really a gap?
Mm-hmm.
So, whoo, hold up,
Ravens
my
win the
bad, my bad.
division. 2-4 is a throw up. Hmm.
Yeah, man. I'm on the. I like the Ravens this year. I had the Ravens last year, and everything was online, like I said, till Lamar got hurt. Uh, but yeah. So let's wrap it up on the Browns. Final thoughts, since we have them finishing last. What is a good last place finish, and what is a bad last place finish for the Browns? Because obviously there's a you shock the world to the dark horse and you could get up there, but what is a good and a bad outlook on the Browns if they are fourth in the division?
Close to 500, above 500. So if they finish in
Close
that
to
9
500.
and 8, what's 17 games this season? If they finish 9 and 8, it's a good season. They finish 7 and 10 like they did last year, it's a bad season.
All right, got you. Bet. All right, wrapping that up for the AFC North. Time to make our way on to the AFC East. We both have the Baltimore Ravens winning the division, with the Bengals coming in second, third, and fourth. So, all right, time to the move to the AFC East. Buffalo Bills, Miami Dolphins, New England Patriots, New York Jets. All right, has anything changed in your mind about the AFC East since we last talked about them?
Nope, Dolphins still winning this division.
See, I got the Dolphins with a dub also. I have
I think we went Dolphins,
I,
Bills, Jets, Pats.
That's my exact order also. It's Dolphins, Bills, Jets, Pats.
Yep.
And I think it's gonna come down to, let me double check the schedule again and make sure. But I think Miami and Buffalo have a week 18 matchup.
Mhm. And this
And
is all
that
with the stance that even though the Jets signed Dalvin Cook, I still don't think that changes it for them.
it didn't move nothing for me. Like Dalvin didn't change nothing for me.
Yeah.
Like he didn't himself.
It's to me like the NBA equivalent is like the Phoenix Suns going to get Bradley Beal.
Yeah,
Could
like
already score the hell out of the ball.
yeah, that's not what bothered me was the Dalvin Cook pickup. Like that's really not what bothered me. All right. Miami, Buffalo, New York, and then New England. So we got New England finishing last. I think we tried to play them to finish last year. I said New England wouldn't win more than 5 games last year. I plant my flag on them. I might have did it a year too early. I really
I
might.
mean, they went 3 games more. They finished 8-9, which
And they swept the Jets, which was like weird stuff too. So like they kind of scooch by on some stuff. All right. So we have Miami winning the division. What's the convincing factors for you of why Miami should win the division? Why Miami will win the division?
Tua and Miami's defense. Miami's defense is one thing that continued to stand out to me last year, even though Tua was hurt.
Yeah.
They still continued to play a very very high level, um, minus a few turnovers here and there in some key games. And this is probably not a good example, but that game at the beginning of the season when Miami played Baltimore, when Baltimore just went crazy in the first half, scored 30 something points. And then in the third quarter, they continued to hold the ball. Fourth quarter, I think that defense showed up finally.
Yeah.
30, 40 points later, but still. I think that was kind of the mark where the Dolphins defense were able to say, you know what, we can do something. And that was kind of the catapult into the every game after
Yeah.
that season for them showing,
Yeah.
Javon Holland, Wilkins,
Yeah.
that
Yeah. Yeah.
Jalen Phillips, like that whole defense to me. And then um adding what's his face over there? Like a Jalen Ramsey. Adding Jalen Ramsey, who's probably gonna be out a few weeks, but still.
Yeah. I think he's gonna be out for half the year, but which is it? I'm not gonna say it's not a good thing, but as long as he's healthy and ready to go for when you make that push towards the end of the year, I think that's what's most important and what matters. Um, I'm just kind of putting my money on a perfect storm for Miami. I think minus, like you said, the minus the Bengals game when Tua got hurt, minus the Chargers game where they just got out coached and outplayed as a team entirely. Um, I think Miami kind of has a perfect storm brewing to steal some of the games they lost last year. Tua stays on the field, clean some games up, and still crazy. They still would end up being a playoff team. I do think Buffalo is set for not a big step back, but I'm not going to say a step back. I just think the rest of the division and conference is kind of caught up, so that could cause a couple problems for them. But I do still think Buffalo is a 10-win team. The Jets is where I am. I'm very, very iffy on because they won a lot of games against, honestly, some quarterbacks who are not playing well, and I don't. I just find that difficult to double down on. So yeah, I'm gonna go Miami, Buffalo, New York, and New England. That's my order. And but I would not be shocked if 3 teams from this division made the playoffs.
Three
Like I
teams?
wouldn't. Yeah, because I got Miami and Buffalo making it, and I think the Jets would be one of the bubble teams. That's how I feel.
Who said things
So
have the highest ceiling?
yeah, God, come on, man,
I
go
don't
back.
know about that.
So we got New England finishing last.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Consensus. What, like the Browns? If we have New England finishing last in this division, what is it's like we're done with Mac Jones at that time. Is it we just double down since we got Bill O'Brien's offensive coordinator? We just try to add some weapons to the room or something, or do you think they'll be ready to move off of him?
think Bill O'Brien goes before Mac Jones does. Surprisingly, like I think Mac Jones has to have an absolutely terrible season next year for him not to be a part of this team next year.
I can see that too. I can see
What's
that
funny
too.
is I'm over here trying to look at the depth chart and they don't even have the offensive depth chart on ESPN.
That's crazy.
They just have the defensive side of the ball.
Hey, let me click and look. That's wild. Um, I know we talked about Juju coming over. And is what expectations do you have on Juju coming over?
Honestly, I think we'll see regular Juju, right? The Juju that we saw in Pittsburgh when they were missing AB. And we're gonna see that Juju. We're gonna see a really strong number two receiver. Um,
Gotcha.
just because I don't think they have the complement of receivers over there for him to consistently be able to create off of those. Because I think if you look at the success of Juju Smith-Schuster, it's always been around being able to play off of another receiver and being able to play off of another player that can get themselves open and create big plays. Those are
Yeah.
when Juju Smith-Schuster's big plays happen. Is when there is a big playmaker on the other side. In Kansas City, that was Travis Kelce. Pat Mahomes just happens to be your quarterback. You're gonna find opportunities to score when you got Travis Kelce offsetting the defense on the strong
Yeah.
side, and you're the weak side slot receiver. It's
Yeah.
it's only kind of just what happens when things like that happen. But I think we'll see a production similar to what he had maybe those 2 years after AB left in Pittsburgh.
Let me see, get a picture of what he did last year, just to kind of make sure. Last year he had 78 catches, 101 targets, 933 yards, and 3 TDs. You think he goes over or under that this year?
What were the stats again? Pull it up.
Last year he had 78 catches, 101 targets. That was only the third time in his, well, he was injured that year before. So 101 targets, 933 yards, and 3 TDs. He had a 12-yard average on reception. So
I think we'll see that many receptions. I don't think we'll see that many targets. No, I think we'll see very, very similar to what he did last year.
all right, that's smooth.
Very similar. But I mean, again, that's a strong number two.
All right, I can roll with that. I can roll with that. All right. Oh shoot, let me get my stuff back to my screen. All right, one player from each team you got your eye on. You know what? Actually, talking to, well, no, I got my eye for the Patriots. Christian Gonzalez. Christian Gonzalez, man. They, if we know what a lockdown corner in Bill's hands could do, and I feel like he's not. How can I put this? I feel like in Bill's scheme with him, he can be elite, but I don't know if he's like follow you around the field lockdown.
Yeah.
So, but I do feel like what he could be there. So that's honestly who I got my eye on this team. Is Christian Gonzalez for real?
Yeah, I
Just
agree.
want to see, yeah, just want to see what he's capable of.
I agree.
So, and I got a slight eye on Juju because like I do think he's a good too, but I think this is like yo, if you want a chance to kind of spam up some numbers, I don't feel like there's no reason why you shouldn't become the guy over there, and you should have 90 catches, 1100, and 5 TDs. So Buffalo Bills. Who was the player you were looking at on the Buffalo Bills? Let me scroll through here, make sure that I'm not missing nobody. I'm not gonna say him because I felt like I said him last year. To be for real with you, I was
Um,
thinking Greg. I was thinking Gregory Rousseau. Was like the first person that came to mind for real.
I'm be watching Dalton Kincaid. I think he's somebody who's gonna play his way into making making Dawson Knox expendable, right? And I
Yeah.
think this is going to be a similar situation to what we saw with Zach Ertz and Dallas Goedert. Is you're going to see a second string, recently drafted tight end come in, step up, play big, and for that team to be like, I don't think we really need you next year, big dog. Like I don't think we got to pay
Yeah.
you because it's about coming up for you here soon.
Yeah.
So
Man, I think
Commanders
this
gonna take
front,
your cake.
yeah, I think this front all revolves around Von Miller, leadership and production. I kind of am intrigued by what Russo could be on the other end, man. But like, I just, because I'm trying to avoid the big name, but like, I just want to see Josh control the game.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to see him control the game and really like, bro. We know you can make the big plays, but I want to see you control the game, put teams at your mercy, and let them like take what you can take, and really bounce back because he's up there, man. He's up there. He really had, and I just feel like the world is banging on him for the last game we saw him was just a really bad game,
Yeah.
which is a tale of two worlds because the year before the last game we saw you was your best game, and everybody held you, and then this year your last game was your worst game, and everybody wants to bang on you. And I think both could be true. You could have that great game and that bad game. I just want to see you start to control the game, control the offense, man. Go out there, get your quick seven like we know you can, and then slow the game down. Use the clock, help your defense, take care of everything, man, and go from there. So I just want to see him be more in control of the entire offense. So
To my
I do
fantasy
have,
football guys out there, if you can find a way to get Khalil Shakur and to handcuff him to Gabe Davis, I would do it.
yeah, gotcha. Oh, who was I about to say? Les Frazier is no longer the defensive coordinator for the Bills. He took the year off on top of Edmonds leaving and yeah, on top of Edmonds leaving. So I think McDermott is going to be heavy in the defensive play calling, which he's capable of doing it. But again, that defense could look a lot different this year.
Yeah.
All right, one player from Miami that you are looking at.
I'm not looking at a player. I'm looking at Mike McDaniels.
All right,
I'm
smooth.
watching Mike McDaniels this year. The biggest thing that I think was exposed last year is once defenses started to key into what they were doing, he did not have an audible to be able to change his game plan. And I think that's why I'm going to be watching Mike McDaniels. We know Tua's capable. We know Tyreek is capable. We know Waddle's capable. We know what Mostert Wilson can do. I'm watching Mike McDaniels. Have you evolved in your play calling? And I'm not saying that because he was a scrub of a play caller at all last year. He was a hell of a play caller. But once that San Diego team, that San Francisco team was able to key in on y'all,
Yeah,
I mean, let's be real. That game against San Francisco was probably headed for a blowout if it wasn't for that fumble recovery from Reek where he just picked it up and he went up the sideline. He was gone.
yeah.
That gave him a
So
little bit of momentum. But I'll be watching Mike McDaniels to see what he does to adjust this year on the offensive side of things.
I told you I like Miami's front and their potential defensively. I agree with you on McDaniels because I do feel like the roster is where it's at. But also, man, Vic Fangio is somebody to look at because I know he has this legendary name for putting together defenses and having good defenses. But there's also still the storyline of he's salty because he said he was supposed to be in Philly, but the whole mess that happened with John Gannon and their tampering stuff and whatever didn't allow him to go there. So this is like a second option place for him. So I'm just interested in seeing how and what he can produce from this defense. Because I do like, well, I mean, they picked up Eli Apple, even though I was like, I would have let Cam Smith kind of run with it. But, I like Cam Smith, but he is young early in there. So we'll see. Emmanuel Ogbah, Jalen Phillips, two guys up front I'm looking at too. But yeah, let's see what coaching does. Because like you said, the book is kind of out, and we'll see if you got any adjustments off of that and how you attack this year. So, and if you guys get Jonathan Taylor, you know what I'm saying? Like let's see it. Let's see if that happens and what that changes. All right, one player from the New York Jets,
Quinn Williams.
Williams.
Quinn Williams. We know what the secondary does. The linebacking core is so to me. C.J. Mosley, Quincy Williams, Jermaine Sherwood. I'm looking at Quentin Williams. I think we're about to see. I think we're gonna see a career year from him this year. He's gonna have a lot of time to be able to do some things over there on the defensive side of things. And we already know, the obvious spotlight is going to be on Sauce Gardner this year, coming off of his performance in his rookie year last year. But I'm gonna be watching Quentin Williams to see what he does on that defensive line, to wreak some havoc over there.
Yeah. He irked me. Well, I didn't watch the whole thing, so maybe I should reserve judgment. But the clips that was getting spammed of him on Hard Knocks, and he was like, "I got 10 sacks and stuff." I was like,
Oh
"Bro, you
yeah,
didn't."
I watched all
Bro,
of
you
it
didn't.
because of that. I was like, there got to be more to this, and I was just like,
Yeah.
okay,
But then somebody
it's
shared
not
a
as
yeah. And then somebody on the other side was like shared a clip of I think DJ Reed was like, "Bro, they scored like 10 times on us," like in another huddle. So I was like, that's why I say this is always the funniest time of the year for me because all you have to do is grab the right clip to push whatever agenda you want push. For me, the bookend tackles, man, the
Mm.
tackles. Dwayne Brown, Mekhi Becton, man. I know Mekhi's dealt with injuries and stuff. I know AVT is dope. I know they picked up Laken Thomason last year, but it's still true with Rodgers is bro's gonna get pissed off eventually.
Mm-hmm.
And like he's gonna get mad, and there's gonna be two different types of mad that I see from Aaron, which is cool. Like I think bro asks people to play at a standard, and he wants you to be there, which is cool. But if you don't protect him and you don't get where you're supposed to get, there's gonna be problems. You know what I'm saying? And this Jets O line could eventually be a big downgrade from Green Bay. And I think that's not the known part of what could that's the unknown part in this that I think people might be missing is bro had protection. You know what I'm saying? And
Even
I
when
know some,
Bakhtiari was out, the second
yeah.
string tackle is to me a starter on this team.
Now don't get me wrong, I do think Garrett Wilson can have the year to where at the end of the year we go, hey, Garrett's a top 20, top 15. I do think Brees Hall is the main running back, and I like Dalvin Cook. He didn't move me, but yo, if Brees and Dalvin Cook's your backfield, cool. But I like AJ and I like Dylan and I like the AJs better than I like these two
Oh
dudes.
yeah,
So
somebody was out there
yeah,
throwing out there like, oh yeah, this New York Jets running back room is way better
no,
beyond
it's
this. I
not.
was like, no,
There's just a
no.
and if you're a Jets fan, you should obviously be optimistic. But there's a world where almost everything on this roster, minus Garrett Wilson, could be a downgrade.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a world where, and we've spoken highly of Robert Saleh and what we think of him as just a guy, but bro, we still got to see you coach too. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, still got to see you coach both like the other side of the football. I think Nathaniel Hackett's a good OC, so we'll see how that works out. But yeah, there's a real chance that this team could just be honestly a downgrade from what he left from in Green Bay. So that's why I'm more reserved on them, especially for how their season starts. So my key players will be the tackles.
Cool.
All right. So to finish off the AFC East, your order of finishing rankings in the AFC East. Mine's is Miami, Buffalo, New York, New England.
Same.
All right. Let's move on down to the AFC South. Houston Texans, Indianapolis Colts, Jacksonville Jaguars, Tennessee Titans.
Some things have
So we both
changed.
things have changed. You said some things have changed for
Some
you.
things have changed
What's
slightly.
changed for you?
The fact that AR is now the starter from jump,
Got you.
that to me changes everything. Um, not in the sense of like they're gonna come out and win a bunch of games. They're gonna make a whole lot more games a lot tougher than a lot of teams expect it to be.
Got you.
Jonathan Taylor aside, like whether he's there or not, I think you still have a problem with having AR at your quarterback position to start.
You would have. I thought it was the perfect storm to pay Taylor. Like I thought it was the perfect storm just to be like, just give him his money because we got this dude here, and this is what's gonna help keep teams honest while we work some things out.
And we ain't gotta
You know,
we
the oh
we ain't gonna have to pay
yeah,
AR for 4 years.
yeah. You still got Michael Pittman. You got, Shane Steichen, who's this good offensive mind. You have an O line that I think isn't as bad as they might have been. Like, I think it was just a bad year. And that's when we try to tell people, like, hey, you can't be elite every year. Eventually one year you're probably just gonna have a bad year and then you're gonna come back up. I think all that plays a part. But that's what I said. I feel like the Colts are making a mistake by letting Jonathan, or if they haven't let him go yet. I just think they're making a mistake. And they need to keep him around and support him. So, since we're already on there, what are your expectations for AR in the first year? What are you wanting to look from him beyond record? What are you looking for from him
This is super bold, but I expect it to be that. I expect it to be a Cam Newton year.
in his rookie year?
Yep, in his rookie year. I know Cam was one of the first. I think he was the first rookie to throw for 4K, right?
I think he was right under. I think he broke the rookie passing record, but I think he was right under.
I think we'll see AR around 35, 3,600.
Let me get a actual look at it. Because I know he broke it, then I know Luck came in right behind him and broke it right after. Ah, shoot. Come on, man. Go back. Find it. Find it. What was Cam's exact numbers for his rookie year? Uh oh yeah, actually went right over 4,051 yards. That was the only year he threw 4K. Ironically, with Steve Smith. 21 TDs, 17 picks. And he had 14 rushing touchdowns, 706 yards.
He had a hell of a year's rookie year. 60% completion. That's that right there. That's the foundation of what I'm not saying 4K. I'm not saying 21 touchdowns. 17 interceptions sounds really reasonable. 14 to 17. But I'm expecting
Oh,
somewhere
that's
around year 2, year 3 Cam.
Cam's completion percentages are booty.
They are buns, and that's what I'm leaning on right there with
They're
AR.
booty. And it's even so funny that I look at his MVP year and it's booty. But the one year where I had his most hope, 67%, that's when TJ Watt tore his behind up. Oh, F you, TJ Watt. You know what I'm saying? F you, TJ. Yeah, them completion percentage is horrible. So you know what? Yeah, I'll take the completion percentage. Um, 58 will be the lowest I want to give him. I think Shane will work his way to get him up to 60, 61. 14 rushing touchdowns. That was even kind of an anomaly for Cam's rookie year because he only did double digits 2 more times in his career.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna say if he could just give me 24 total touchdowns, I'll take the I'll take the 15 picks. But if AR can rack in 24 total touchdowns, I think that's a win.
I'm gonna go somewhere
I
along the lines of like 27, 28.
yeah,
Because I think
I think
what AR is gonna realize during the season is that there's only going to be a handful of people that really want to tackle me. And those
yeah.
handful of people probably can't catch me.
I'm also interested in seeing how Shane, how much he allows of that.
Yeah.
Well, not allows, but how much he uses it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely interested in seeing how much he uses that, and honestly, when he decides to use it. So, but bro's definitely been scrambling and making his move. So athletically, we already know he's a beast. He's a monster. All right, Houston is going to Houston. CJ still, I don't think CJ still announced the starter yet. So, concerning, to be honest with you. That is concerning. I do think he will start, but I don't feel like the fight should have went this long. So
I don't want to say it's concerning just because I think there's a method to the madness for that situation specifically.
Yeah,
I think there is a method to the madness with that, not announcing him the starter from jump.
got you. Um, the player that I got my eye on, and this is if he could come back healthy and be 100% and good to go, is John Mechie, man. John Mechie, man. I
Mm-hmm.
told you, I think
Mm-hmm.
dude is a beast. I think dude is a monster. I think he is going to break a lot of plays for them, and how and when he is used is just honestly kind of what I want to see. I think he's a sleeping giant and what he could provide for them on the offense. So, but they do got Nico Collins and Robert Woods. Robert Woods just being the stabilizing factor there. God, Bravian Jordan fell from grace, man. I thought he was going to be a guy coming out. You already know how much stock I got invested into Derek Stingley, man. So
Yeah.
hopefully Derek Stingley can um, help fix my take on. I think he's just as equal in this cornerback debate here. So yeah, do you have? So we both have the Jags as the winner of the division, right?
Yes.
So how much did DeAndre Hopkins go into the Titans and close the gap?
0. 0. It did not do anything for me as far as closing the gap.
I feel like it bought him. I feel like it bought him a game.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. But I also think that like someone still has to throw to him, right? And I know that's always the take that we look at when it comes to DeAndre Hopkins is who's throwing him the ball. He had Kyler. Before that, he had Deshaun for a little bit. Before that, he had who he had before Deshaun. I can't even think of it.
Yeah, I think it's Schwab. I forgot. But
Matt
yeah, I
Schaub,
understand.
yeah.
Yeah,
But no,
yeah.
I just
I'm
don't think
my
that O line is built to give Tannehill the time to throw him the ball.
I'm just most concerned about the beginning of their schedule. First 6 weeks up until the bye week. New Orleans lost the Chargers, the Browns, the Bengals, the Colts, the Ravens. And I'm afraid that start of the schedule could put them in a hole to where I still don't think it's enough to win the division, but enough to fight to be that bubble team towards the end of the year to make a playoff spot.
Mm.
Like if they make it to the bye week at 3-3, then I'm like, okay, they really might like this might be a team nobody wants to see down the line. Like that's how I would end up feeling. Because they come out the bye week with Atlanta, Pittsburgh, Tampa, Jacksonville, Carolina. Like they could really start to split. And they don't play Houston until the back end of the year, and they could get a Jacksonville team on a rest week. So I'm like, there really is a world where like I think they could still sneak in towards the end. I'm just concerned for the first 6 weeks of their season. But I do think getting Hopkins bought them a game. I still think defensively with Vrabel, they're good. I know they changed some things, but yeah, I still got Jacksonville outright winning this division, and I told you they're my number one seed this year. I got Jacksonville number one seed, T Law, MVP favorite. That's who I got. So, what are your expectations from Dougie P and the Prince that was promised in Jacksonville? What are the T Law expectations? How I know we had it year one. You guys said he was buns, he was trash. I was fighting for T Law. Now he's there. So how much have you swung differently on the Trevor Lawrence and Dougie P combo?
Oh, complete 180. And I think Urban Meyer was always going to be the difference. He was always the difference
Gotcha.
between that conversation, right? Um, we're going to see an MVP year from Trevor Lawrence this year.
Got
Um,
you.
I think they're going to convincingly win the South.
Good.
And I think from there, I know we talked about it before. It might be going through Jacksonville. Like I think if all the cards fall where they need to, they have 5 wins on their plate, 6 wins on their plate, damn near
Yeah.
from this division itself. So I think if they just
Yeah.
do the things that they're supposed to do, especially with Calvin Ridley being back, especially with them being 100% healthy going into the season, hey man, the AFC might be going through Jacksonville.
I'm my player to watch is Trayvon Walker, and it's because, bro, I don't think you should have been the number one pick. I don't. We all kind of said that right there. And at base of just looking at this defense, I'm my confidence and my projection for this team is that the offense will be good enough to keep the pressure off the defense and to help them play more situational football to where maybe they could pin their ears back or they don't have to worry about certain things. But like I am expecting big things from this team offensively. But like I said, I it has to be on a dude who was picked number one to actually show that he was picked number one
Yeah.
and be a force because I'm expecting big things from a lot of other people, and I'm just kind of expecting him just to be him. So, and again, this is me not. I have to see. So I'm just expecting the dude who was taking number one at that spot to be that. So let me see. Let me like not try to broad stroke this here. So last year, bro had 3.5 sacks, 24 tackles. What else? A forced fumble, with 25 solo tackles.
He was really
Um,
mid. He was
that's
really,
that
really mid.
yeah, and that's part of my fear is that he's that and he was taken number one. So, which, like I said, it does bother me. It does bother me. So, I mean, I'm asking this dude to just ramp it up, bro. Like, I don't want to come back at the end of the year and like not be convinced off of what I think you are and what you can be.
Mhm.
So, all right, AFC East. I mean AFC South. We are done here. One player from each team you were looking for. So me for Houston, it will be Derek Stink. Well, John Mechie. I said John Mechie for the Colts. It would be. Let me see. Well, Michael Pittman. To be real with you.
Mm.
To be real with you, Michael Pittman. I think Michael Pittman is in that cloudy situation of wide receivers. Um, I think here there could be good chemistry to bro. Get your money, get your stats, be impactful,
Michael
play a
Pittman?
good role here.
Oh, for the
Yeah,
coach.
the Colts.
Got you.
Yeah, Michael Pittman. He's the guy who I'm kind of looking at for the Colts. I feel like he has everything set up for him to if there is another leap that I may be missing or situation or whatever you want to call it, I just think he has the opportunity to here to show that he could be a top end wide receiver even more. For Jacksonville, like I told you, it's Trayvon Walker, and for the Tennessee Titans, I'm not gonna lie to you, it's one of them backup quarterbacks. Because if the season starts off rough and shaky like I think it is, and then the answer is not on this roster, like if they don't feel like Will Levis or Malik is the answer, then this could be the team who goes and takes a full on swing for somebody. And so
Cool.
I don't
Um,
want to keep prostituting Kyler Murray to every other team in the world. I don't want to keep like, what about Kyler Murray and Mike Vrabel? I don't want to keep throwing this man in every other team. Be like Kyler back with D Hop in Tennessee. I don't want to keep doing that. So
Houston, I'm watching John Mechie, just like you are, coming off beating cancer and being able to get back into the league and make a difference and be a target for CJ Stroud is gonna be huge. Um, the Titans, I'm honestly going to be looking at pretty much the defense as a whole. That's going to be the focus of what this Titans team is this year, as they are every year, right? Yeah, you got the King Henry over there. Yeah, you got Debo, but still, like I'm gonna be watching this defense as a whole. Jacksonville, I am going to be watching Calvin Ridley. His revenge tour starts week 1. He
yeah,
said he's him. And I think he's gonna show that to everybody. He got a hell of a quarterback and a hell of a coach to be able to leverage him and put him in that place. Another fantasy football tip for y'all: if y'all can steal Christian Kirk in the later rounds,
ooh,
do it. Do
yeah.
it. He's gonna have a lot of touchdown opportunity with Calvin Ridley tearing your CB1 up.
I think Kirk gonna have big TD year.
Yep. And then the Colts, very very straightforward. Anthony Richardson, AR. I put high expectations on you to show me some Cam Newton flashes here in Cam Newton's first 3 years. An average of those first 3 years, that's what I'm expecting of you. Year 1, I think you have the physical talent to do it. Um, show us.
Yes.
That's it.
All right. On to the AFC West with defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs, Denver Broncos, Las Vegas Raiders, and the Los Angeles Chargers. All right. So we got the Chiefs who dog walks this division since Mahomes has been a starter. I don't think he's lost a road division game, they said. So that's great. Like that is a crazy thought that this man can't lose on the away game in this division, which is what's gonna have to change if somebody wants to get this uh championship game away from KC. All right. We both have the Raiders finishing last, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What I've said it, I'm gonna just say it. Raiders, if y'all finish last, just fire McDaniels, bro. It's, it's like I should have fired him last year. Fire McDaniels, bro. I'm telling you, I'm looking at the man and I'm telling you, I just don't believe he's worth it. I believe he's gonna hold you guys back. Get rid of him. So, but the roster just has some of the dopest players, bro. But just get rid of McDaniels, man. KC with the Chris Jones saga saying he's going to sit out. If Chris Jones doesn't play week 1, I believe he doesn't play till week 8.
Nope. Me too. And that's a
That's
huge hole in that defense.
I don't think you can early recover from that. But if he does return, if Chris Jones does sit out till week 8, the first 8 games of the year are Detroit, Jacksonville, Chicago, New York, Minnesota, Denver, Chargers, Denver, which is still a very 6-win, 5-6 wins at the worst to me. Like if they go any worse than that, then they're gonna have to pay him soon. And I'm getting a lot of people, like I got a whole bunch of Chiefs fans at work, obviously, who come up to me and tell me they feel like they're gonna go 20-0 this year. Which like in the moment, I was like, well, damn, this is how Pats fans felt after they won and they were supposed to go do all of that. So I was like, okay, I understand where y'all hypeness is coming from. I was like, but I also think you're gonna lose some games, bro. You're gonna lose some games. You guys aren't that clean of a team. You guys are the explosive one.
I ain't gonna lie. I want
Um,
to know what that feels like as an NFL fan. Because after Philly won the Super Bowl that year, I knew like every Philly fan you talked to, we was like, bro, we ain't even gonna go to the playoffs next year.
it don't feel like that for Carolina because our best years are years we don't expect. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Our best years are years we don't expect. I don't think people remember the year we went to the Super Bowl. Kelvin Benjamin got injured in training camp. And
Yeah.
this was after having a cold-blooded rookie year. So we was all like, yo, what they like? We was in shambles. We was like, yo, we thought bro was about to step up. So for us, like we've never had back-to-back winning seasons. So we don't, it's always like, damn, we can tell when the team's gonna be bad, but it's just trying to guess which year we gonna be good at this point. Like for real, it's like trying to like we always like, oh yeah, we knew Jimmy Clausen year we was gonna be bad. We knew this year we was gonna be bad. But it was like other years, you just like, yo, you don't the the year we were supposed to walk back, we lost in the Super Bowl, and then Steve Smith breaks his leg like beginning of the year, and everything just goes downhill from there. So it's like with being the dynasty and having that stability has to be different. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, if Chris Jones doesn't play week 1, I really don't see him coming back until week 8. So I don't know. Is there a world where not? It's just tough for me to think that they could drop that many games in the meantime.
No, I think if Chris Jones is not there the first game, you're gonna see Andy Reid essentially just he gonna take the top off and just say we scoring 50 points a game, bro. Like that's our only option.
Yeah. All right. To the biggest mysteries of this division, the biggest mysteries to the NFL is the two teams that get 4 chances at beating KC. In Denver and the Chargers, the Broncos and the Chargers. One of these two, like, eventually you have to split with them to help kind of level the playing field here. So let's start with Denver, with Sean Payton and Russ, and what we can expect from them. We both have KC winning the division.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So who's two? Because
LA,
I had the Chargers.
the
Yeah, I
Chargers.
had the Chargers. So
Not
then,
not by a lot from 3 though. It's not gonna be
okay.
by a lot from 3. The 3 and 2 can easily be interchangeable, but I do think the Chargers will take that number 2 spot.
So my view of what should be done, could be done, and I think is going to happen is I actually do think the Chargers and the Broncos are going to split with the Chiefs this year. And I think that's where the two losses are added to their record.
Yeah.
Is I actually do think that Denver's going to get one, and I think the Chargers are going to get one. Now it's just being dependent on what they do outside of those matchups. That's what's going to help. I have the Chargers second. I'm not gonna lie. I think minus injuries for me is the only way I think Denver can close that gap. Um, what does a let's go this way. What does a second place Denver team look like?
Second place Denver team, I think they'll be a 10-win team.
Got you.
If they're the second place Denver Broncos, they'll have to be a 10-win team. Which I mean,
What does a what does a
oh, go ahead.
what does a first place Denver team look like?
12 wins.
What does a second place Chargers team look like?
11 wins.
And that was the first place, right?
No, that's second. A second place Chargers team is 11 wins. First place Chargers team is 12 wins. Oh, 13 wins. Excuse me, 13 wins. And that's with them, like you said, splitting with the Chiefs. Assuming that the Chiefs are also splitting with the Broncos, perfect storm happens for the Chargers, and they end up 13 wins.
Denver all day, baby. We see you. So like in this world, so we're so used to the world of KC winning the division and getting a conference championship
Mm-hmm.
game that is as it has to just be off rip the line. And they've done it every year with 12 games, I believe. So well, like it's kind of hard to say. Last year I had a bunch of stock in the Chargers, then they got injured and they got hurt. Is there a world where the Chargers, let me look at their schedule and kind of double check and make sure that I feel this, like I really do feel this way? Because when I went back, I had them at best being like an 11 and 16. I
First 4
had them,
weeks: Miami, Tennessee, Minnesota, Vegas.
I had them 3-1 at the bye week. I had them beating Miami, beating Tennessee, losing to Minnesota, beating the Raiders,
Yeah, I had them 3-1, but with losing to Miami.
and beating Minnesota.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. And then I had them beating Dallas out of the bye week.
Uh-huh.
They'll split with KC, beating Chicago. The Jets is a toss up, but I would take the Chargers. I would take Chargers over the Lions. I would take the Chargers over Green Bay. I would take Baltimore over the Chargers. I would take the Chargers over New England. I have them splitting with Denver,
Uh-huh.
and then it's that Buffalo game that becomes the toss up for me. Home versus West at home, so no weather. Have to worry about that. At home versus Buffalo. I'm not gonna lie. I think this is one of the occasions where I actually like how Buffalo matches up with them more than I like the Chargers. But being at home, I think I would take the Chargers. So
Yeah.
that'd be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, that's pretty close up there. So I'm just fearful of trying to roll with this Chargers train again, and more trying to see if there's a way that both of these teams can collectively just add a loss to Casey's record and split.
Yeah. Because KC swept it last year, 6-0 in the division.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, so like they just like I don't think you have to. I just think you have to make sure that that game doesn't like don't give them the first playoff bye week because they've been living off of having a bye week,
Yeah.
and we know Andy's record outside of a bye week. So maybe if we get to the full playoff picture, we can kind of figure this out. So we can figure out what division gives the extras right now. So what was last year's playoff picture for the AFC?
Last year's playoff picture. If I can get that pulled up.
Let me see. Yeah. So I know
Mm,
last year's playoff. Yeah, my bad. Go ahead. Uh, so we can kind of compare and contrast this real quick, see what it's looking like.
all right, let me get this on screen.
So we both agree that we have Miami, Baltimore, and the Jags winning their division, right?
Uh-huh.
So that keeps three teams who were in the playoffs to stay in the playoffs. They said every year there's four new playoff teams, and it's been that way for the last 15 years. So maybe we can, maybe sometimes you got to have some nuts and go against the grain. So we'll see what that looks like. So we got the Chiefs winning the division. So that's four teams that are the same. So then who's the fifth, sixth, and seventh seeds?
Um.
Because off rip, for me, it would be Buffalo, Cincinnati, Chargers.
So right now we got KC, Jacksonville, Baltimore, Miami, and then you got who was the 15?
Buffalo,
Buffalo. Oh,
Chargers,
Buffalo Chargers.
Cincinnati.
And the 7 Cincinnati. Buffalo Chargers, Cincinnati. I think it might be Buffalo Chargers, Denver.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be Buffalo Chargers, Denver. Because I mean, depending on how long Joe Burrow's out,
It sounds like they have no intentions of sitting him out.
damn.
He's going to play week one. He's on schedule to play week one. So I think, what? I think I'm ready to. So I'm confident with Jacksonville being the one seed. I'm ready to lock that in. Um, and don't get me wrong, y'all. Just because they're the one seed doesn't mean I actually think they're the best team in the division either. I just think due to division, perfect storm of schedule, they have a real window to get the number one seed. But I also did this last year with the Chargers, so
All right, so
trying
we're
to
putting
trying to
who has the number one seed in the AFC. I got a bracket builder up right now that we're gonna build off
Oh
of.
yeah, bracket builder. Jacksonville, man. I'm going with Jacksonville, man. I think they got five. I think they got at least five dubs in their own division. I think they should sweep the Colts, sweep the Titans this year, and I think they can at least split with Tennessee. So that's five. They play the NFC North. That should be another three. And then I think after that, they just got to find a way to get four more. So I'm definitely shooting for the stars on this one. But I'm going to take Jacksonville one.
Jacksonville one, got it. So does that make KC two? Or Miami or Baltimore? Because those were the other two that we had winning their division.
I'm going to go KC too.
Okay.
I still think Baltimore might have too many hiccups to be a 12-win team.
We got number three. Is this where
I
we're
will
putting
go.
Miami or Baltimore?
I will put Baltimore three.
That puts Miami at 4. 5 is between we have the Bills and the Chargers.
I got the Bills five.
Buffalo, and then 6,
Chargers.
Los Angeles. All right. Should that
and
be a
then 7.
17?
Yeah.
There's a wild card, so a 17. I don't know why it's not on here, but
Did that make sense? A 2018 bracket? I think that's why, because they didn't have the new method at that time.
oh, this is 2018. That's why. We'll put the 17 right here. Is this
Yeah, as
Denver?
long.
Is it Denver? Is it Cincinnati?
See, I think Cincy still makes it. I really, God. Yeah, I think Cincinnati still makes it. And I think Denver just misses in Pittsburgh.
So Cincy will be the wild card. Let's see if I can find an updated bracket.
So that would be my guess.
Get the up-to-date playoffs. Let's say get the up-to-date one. It's still showing me the old one.
Making me think. It's making me think a lot. It's really making me think a lot. Yep. Nah, I'm good. I'm good with that. I'm
You
good with
staying? You
that.
cool with staying with the what you call it?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm good with that. Jacksonville, KC, Baltimore, Miami will be 1 through 4. 5, Buffalo, Chargers, Cincinnati. That'll be my 7 playoff teams. That's who I rock with. Uh, but you would replace the Chargers with Denver, right?
I think so, man. I think Denver. I don't know. I think Denver has a better chance to set themselves up to be there. I don't know.
Ooh, this
I
is
don't know why. I just feel like
yeah. You
I
got to
feel like
roll. You got to roll.
if they do play Joe Burrow early, right, too early, it's just
Yeah,
gonna make things worse for him. And I hate to be the dude to say that, but that's just kind of where I'm at. Like,
yeah. No, I get it. All right, that's where I'm at. Yeah, I still think they're. I think Denver might be just a little tad behind right now. And so, all right, let's finish that out to our next. Ooh, so we got the first team out. The first 2 teams out for me will be Denver and Pittsburgh.
yeah,
Denver and Pittsburgh will be the first 2 teams out for me. So all right. So that's good there. I think I'm good there. I guess we'll get to double back and check it right before the week starts, man. Week 1 starts and see how that looks. Get a refresh view if we want to change anything on the last end. All right. Are we able to well we'll plant the flag after. Let's check out the season award odds. Be able to pull that up.
and do yep.
And we'll be picking one AFC player from each category. And if we had $5, I got 5 on it. If we got $5, who will we put them on in the conference for the season award projections? So
NFL conferences. Let's see. Is there player awards that it has on here?
should be season
Season
awards.
awards. All right, here we go. Season awards.
Let
Regular
me look at
season
them.
MVP.
So who would you put your $5 on for the NFL? Your AFC's MVP.
AFC's MVP. Ain't even on the list. Trevor Lawrence, the prince that was promised.
He's not on the FanDuel list. I thought it was like plus 1,600.
He's Aaron Rodgers is plus 1,600, so he might be after Aaron. Show more. Yeah, he's right after. He's 1,600 as well.
Man,
If I'm putting my $5
oh,
there, it's gonna be right there. You wait your $5. That's gonna pay you $80.
bet. All right, offensive player of the year.
Offensive player of the year. Just the AFC, right?
Yeah, just your AFC offensive player of the year.
Ooh.
Tough one. Yeah, tough one. Tough one. Tough one.
Ooh.
Tough one.
Lamar Jackson,
That's why.
2,200 plus odds.
Yeah, that's who I was messing with too. I was messing with Lamar also.
You got
Oh,
$5 on that. You gonna make 110 if you put it on Lamar today or whenever you watch this.
gotcha. Ooh. All right. What we got next? Defensive player of the year.
Defensive player of the year. AFC only. Quentin
Ooh.
Williams, baby. Nah, I'm just playing.
Going Quentin.
Nah.
I'm not even gonna lie to you.
I'm gonna go Pat Surtain.
Pat. Oh, you going Pat?
I'm
What's
gonna go
Pat's value?
Pat. 4,000.
Plus 4,000 on a Pat
$5 will give you
Surtain.
200. I'm gonna
Ooh.
go Pat. The league showing corner some love, bruh. And you know the league likes to stay on.
But
They
the
like to stay on trend for like 2-3 years.
but the problem is like you either have to have this super low shutdown rate or you gotta have picks. And that stuff just gets bad. I'm not gonna lie, mine's is kind of higher up. I think he's just gonna get the chance to run it up this year. I think he's getting a lot of love, man. We'll go Max Crosby, man. Max Crosby would be,
Ooh,
yeah,
ain't even mad at that. Plus
yeah, Max Crosby.
25.
If I had to put my 5 on somebody, I think it's gonna be Max this year,
Give
man.
you 125, y'all. So y'all betting on Max Crosby. If you betting on Pat Surtain, if you want to get brave and go with Derwin James, even though he ain't been healthy in a minute for a full
Yeah.
season, Derwin James will get you
Zadarius
300,
Smith plus
375.
10,000. That's funny though. Zadarius Smith
10,000?
is plus 10,000 though. That's funny though.
What does that give you?
Oh,
Is that like $1,000? $500.
on the Zadarius Smith Defensive Player of the Year. All right, Offensive Rookie of the Year. That's next, right?
It has Coach of the Year. Look,
Oh, Coach of the Year. If you had to pick a Coach of the Year from the offense, who's available? Who's up on the options? Dan Campbell, Eberflus. I'm not gonna lie, I think it's just kind of too easy to not take the Sean Payton money.
yeah, that's easy money.
Yeah, I think if I had to put bread on that, it would definitely go to Sean Payton. Offensive Rookie of the Year out of the AFC.
Offensive Rookie of the Year, AFC. We're going to expand this. Damn. That's tough.
I'm gonna pull a jumper here. I'm gonna pull a jumper here and go Quentin Johnston.
Oh, okay.
I think he's gonna get a lot of touchdown targets.
See that.
So I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of expecting him to maybe get 6 or 7. I think he might get a heavy hand in touchdown targets this year. So if I had to pull a jumper on the AFC, offensive rookie of the year be Quentin Johnston.
Damn, I don't really know. That's tough. I'm probably go with the easy answer. Just say CJ Stroud.
All right. All right. And what's the last one we got there?
Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Defensive from
The
the AFC.
AFC. Christian Gonzalez there.
Will Anderson just seems like too easy of a pick, man.
And he's on a hell of a team with a hell of a coach that is defensive minded too.
Saying Will Anderson I would have put my $5 on him last year, even before he got drafted. But minus Will, it'd definitely be Christian, man.
Christian, I'm gonna go Joey Porter Jr., man, outside of Will.
Oh, okay, that's smooth. That's smooth.
I think
I like that.
Joey P
What? That's
alumni
plus
team.
3,000. Ooh, that's plus 3,000. That's a smooth little come up. I mess with that.
Get you $150.
I mess with that. All right. And we got one more, right?
Yeah, we got one more. It's the AP NFL Comeback Player of the Year.
That one's always so. I
I
don't
think
know.
the emotional pick is going to be John Mechie. If he comes in, scores 2-3 touchdowns this year, he going to get that.
DeMar Hamlin, the Bills, bro. Like, bro's literally minus 350, bro. Like, that's kind of.
They pretty
It's
much gave
kind
it
of.
to him already.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy, bro.
you play
Um,
one game in the NFL and
yeah, it's kind of crazy. All right, I'll
Calvin
put my one.
Ridley. Calvin Ridley. I know
Oh
DeMar
yeah.
Hamlin.
I didn't realize Calvin. Yeah, I'd have to put my bread.
Yeah,
Ironically, we're putting bread on Calvin, who got suspended for putting bread on games. Yeah,
facts.
that's
So plus
hilarious.
five
All right,
thousand though. Plus 5,000 if this man comes back and has a year that we know he can have and that you've seen him have against your
yeah,
teams in that NFC South. It could
got
be
you.
some bread.
All right, since we got the same division winners, let's see what our division winner parlay would look like.
All right. Let's go. Divisions. Okay, so we got Miami winning 290 plus 290. You want to put them in a parlay, a full parlay?
Yeah, four leg AFC parlay.
All right, Miami, Baltimore, Jacksonville, KC. Parlay on that is
A
plus
$10. What's a $10 parlay do?
299.40.
$299.40 for our AFC playoff, well, division winners.
Division win. Hey, I got
All
5
right.
on it.
Hey, we might have to just throw 5 on that since we both got the same.
Why
We'll
not?
split
You
that
know,
at
why
the end
not?
of it. Yeah,
Why
why
not?
not? Why not? We'll send that one. We'll send that one.
$5 we're gonna
Bet,
use on some donuts anyways in the morning or somewhere.
bet. We'll put that 10 in and post that up, and we'll see if we can get that one. I'm gonna definitely get that. All
We
right.
might gonna have to double it up and make a 3-way bet. You know, AFC,
All right.
NFC, and then just across the board.
Oh yeah. If we're gonna come back and we're gonna do a whole one after with the NFC one too, just to see what an entire one looks like.
I'm
So
gonna save
yeah.
my curiosities, and I'm gonna take this off the screen and do it offline because I'm
Do it.
curious.
Yeah. I got you. I got you. All right. Before we get out of here, is there any player, coach, team thing you are ready to just say, you know what? I'm ready to plant my flag on this team. Call it a day. It's a wrap. Team, player, coach, something. That's it. You know me. I've been on the Raiders need to fire Josh McDaniels.
Yeah,
I think that team is going to suffer because of him. I really am trying to understand why he keeps getting these chances and messing this stuff up. I don't think he deserves. Like, I think there's better people for the job. So I told y'all if he comes out here and kills it, y'all can come back and tell me. But I think the Raiders plant my flag. You need to fire McDaniels. In the AFC, who else I'm ready to plant my flag on? Man, it took me about 3 weeks, man, and I was really ready to like lean into the Pittsburgh is going under 500 train, but I can't. But I do think New England will probably be in view of a top 5 pick next year. And so
damn, top 5, damn,
yeah,
damn.
I
I'm
just I just don't know how they can keep skin and bone in this, man. I just think eventually
damn.
they just gotta let it crash.
I'm gonna plant my flag on I'm gonna plant my flag on AR
It's
Anthony
crazy, man.
Richardson. He gonna have one of the best seasons out of all of these rookie quarterbacks this year, strictly because of Shane Steichen and his physical ability. That's just gonna carry him to the next level. You gonna see teams dropping dudes in the box, and then that's when you start to see the play actions. That's when you start to see the arm ability. That's when you really start to see, how they're gonna, get Pittman open and see how they're gonna implement him. Zach Moss is a huge addition to that team that I don't think people are talking about. He could have had a great career over in Buffalo, but we talked about that running game or lack thereof over there. But I'm planting my flag on AR, and then team wise, um, McDaniels, man, fire that dude. Just like you
This
said.
is I just realized. Yeah, I realized this 2 years in a row I done plant my flag on New England Patriots fans probably. I'm glad we don't have that many Patriots fans that mess with us because they would hate me because this is 2 years in a row that I've said that their team is supposed to be really bad.
Don't worry, you know the internet loves receipts and they'll go back and look for it.
Yeah, they'll. I mean, but I don't hide nothing anyway. It's just and it's not like I don't think like last year I thought they were gonna be bad because I thought they were gonna be bad, and they scraped some stuff out. I just think this year the AFC is just entirely better, and I think there is a gap between them. Like I think they are clearly the fourth best team in their division, and I don't think they're gonna sweep. I think they'll probably be the like. I don't see them getting 2 wins in their division, so that's kind of like where I'm at with them. I just think the entire I just think the rest of the league got better, and I can't see him keep getting away with this right now. So I do think they're a move, like obviously, probably a move away from getting right. So, all right, any final thoughts when we get up out of here?
Nah, man. Nah, I'm good. I'm ready for the NFC next week. Whenever we get that out and get that recorded, NBA is gonna
Yes, sir.
start getting popping. We might be a little bit busier. Hopefully, I'm waiting on this background check to see what my job offer look like with Delta, and then we're gonna have to get a little interesting with the schedule. But we still gonna be rocking with y'all. We still gonna be here talking
Yeah, yeah,
about sports.
as
Shout
much
out
as
to
we can.
analysts
You guys
all
already
day.
know. Yeah, drop your comments. Let us know what you think, what you want to hear, what you want to see when we talk about NBA stuff. Season time. So we'll be again our schedule. We'll try to keep y'all posted, man. But life gets hectic, and we try to do what we can. Unless one day maybe this could give us bread, so we ain't got to worry about that. But we ain't worried about it. We always do it for the love. All right, y'all. Vita, that's Soy. We are out. Thank you for rocking with us. We out, y'all.